It's raining too, so I might turn off and run.
All right, we are live.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. Cassandra Terry, the mindset coach and founder of Manifesting Miracle Makers, rounded up her LinkedIn family once again. First, we've got Brian Spark, Mr. Content and Dadpreneur. He's striking that perfect balance between raising his youngest daughter and creating masterful content. Next, meet Denise Annalise Spiller, the gig expert and relentless traveler and writer. She turns every gig into an adventure. Then there's Jay Pasqua, the storytelling strategist, a poet and voiceover artist. He's weaving tales that'll make you think, laugh, and maybe even change your perspective. And wrapping it up, we have Eric Clark, the soul speaker and author. He's here to share his soulful insights and positivity. Get ready for a show filled with wisdom, inspiration, and the magic of the LinkedIn family. Let's welcome Cassandra Terry and the rest of the fan club.
Hello, hello, hello. It is Cassandra Terry. Welcome to the Cassandra Terry Morning Show on this Wake Up Wednesday. And you guys know what it means. On Wednesdays, we talk about the power of being intentional. Why is intentionality so powerful? It's powerful because it helps you to focus in all of your energy, all of your resources, your mind, everything on one task that you intend to complete. And when you are intentional, you have a plan. When we woke up this morning, we made some decisions. We already know where we'd like to see our day go. What are some of the things that we're absolutely going to get done today? That's what intentionality is. It keeps your goals right in front of you. And when you're intentional, each day you're knocking down that to-do list. You're moving from to do to done, one task at a time. One task at a time. We're going to get there. So let me start by sharing with you. Cynthia, good morning. It is so odd. No, it's not odd. It's energy. It's supposed to be, you were supposed to be here, lady, literally 5 minutes ago. Well, no, I've been talking to my friends for about 5 minutes. About 15 minutes ago, you were on my mind. I was getting dressed. I was putting on my earrings, which I hardly ever do in the first thing in the morning this early, but I love these earrings that I got from you. And I had this vision in my head of talking about these earrings and saying, hey, if anybody likes them, there's this lady on Facebook, Cynthia Noakes. Find her. She has all the jewels. And so it's so amazing that you're actually here. I don't usually see you with us this morning, but you literally was the person that was on my mind this morning and I was thinking about the last time I saw you and all the great jewels and stuff I got. So if you guys see Cynthia Noakes, Nokes, check her out on Facebook. She's out there regularly sharing her jewelry, and I believe you can actually she actually I know she does. She runs through it, and you can actually pick up any pieces that you like. And I love her stuff. So there you go, Cynthia. I'm rocking a Cynthia Noakes. I'm rocking you this morning, and I feel like my energy drew you in because you were all over my brain this morning. All right, so let's get back to our regularly scheduled program because that was not the intention. But hey, you go with what is there. When somebody is on your mind and they show up, especially someone you haven't seen in a while, that I don't believe in coincidence. I think everything happens for a reason. And Cynthia, happy Thanksgiving. Can't wait to see you again. Lisa, I see you there. She says, good morning, fam five. Coral, my sister from across the pond. She said, hey, y'all, awesome fam five team. And Cynthia said, thanks for sharing your energy. You are absolutely welcome and amazing. And I love your energy, which is exactly why I was excited to have the opportunity to shout you out. So fam five, we're going to get started with our quote. And it's one that I really like. And I can't wait to hear what nuggets you guys are going to drop as we each deal with it from our own perspectives. But the quote is, intentions are the architect of our future. Be deliberate in your choices and watch your life transform. And that's by Joshua Becker. Intentions are the architect of our future. Be deliberate in your choices and watch your life transform. Think about that. What's an architect? The architect is the person who lays out the plans, right? If you want an addition to your house, if you want to build a new house, if you're going to build a computer program, just about any part of life that something has to be constructed or you have to figure out how to get from one part to another. It's an architect. It's an architectural mind, and they often lay it out on paper so that you can see the flow and know exactly where you're going. Sounds like a plan to me, right? So the architect is the constructor. So intentions are the architect of our future. So when we are intentional, we are constructing, we are planning, we are laying out what our future will be. And each intention is taking us along that route to get us from where we are to where it is we would like to be. Be deliberate in your choices, right? Be intentional. We are making choices all day, every day. But are you aware of the choices that you're making? Or are you just kind of going with the flow and doing the things that you always do, responding to? Denise and I were just talking about this, responding to the calls as they come in. And because you're responding to what's coming in real time, you're letting go of your plan. So your intentions are sliding to the side a little bit because something else has come in and grabbed your attention. So that's what keeps us from being able to stay focused on our intentions. It's our attention. When you're deliberate, when you're focused, when you are moving through your intentions, your attentions are focused on one thing in that moment. You say no to everything else and you focus on the task at hand and you get that done. And then you look at that nice little to-do list and you say, what's the next thing that I intended to complete? And you work your way through your plan. Now, yes, our plans have to be somewhat flexible because we don't live in bubbles, right? We don't live in bubbles. Things are going to happen that will require our attention. But when you have that roadmap, when you have architected through your intentions where it is that you're trying to go, it's much easier to get right back on task if something temporarily takes you away. You know where you left off, you know what you intended to do, so you get right back in there and you keep moving forward. Be deliberate in your choices and watch your life transform. And you being deliberate in your choices means that you are actually creating the life that you desire. You're accomplishing the things that are important to you to fulfill your dreams. Otherwise, we're responding to everybody else's dreams and all the things that other people want. And we can be so busy getting all those things done. And at the end of the day, which eventually becomes the end of our last day, we haven't accomplished the things that we were uniquely designed to do. To me, that's the only sad story. I was talking to a coach yesterday because coaches have coaches. And one of the things she asked me was, what was I afraid of? And if she had asked me that question a couple of years ago, it would have been a laundry list of things, a lot of things. But the one thing that I'm afraid of is not living the life that I was designed to live. I was born, I'm going to steal it, Eric. I was born on purpose for a purpose. There is something that I was designed to do. And I feel like what I'm doing right now is a huge part of that. All the little things that I did along the way, from starting my blog to all the activities and things like Toastmasters, all the things that I've been involved in over the years, all come together to prepare me for this moment, which will take me into the next moment. All building. They're all building. The speech that I fumbled, the one that the thing I didn't show up for, everything that may have caused me angst along the way, it all taught me something. It all brought me to where we are right now. And so did your life. Every piece of it, everything that you've endured, everything that you've accomplished, it all comes together to this point in time. And everything that you're going to do from this moment on will move you either to the life that you desire, hold you in place, or even worse, move you backwards. That's why it's so important to be clear about what those desires are. It's so important to have that roadmap, to have architected through your intentions where it is that you're going so that you actually get there, being deliberate in your choices so that you can watch your life transform. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys this morning. Next up is my sister from across the water, across the land, you across all kinds of stuff over there in Grenada. So I'm going to pitch it over to you, Denise. Let me read the quote one more time, and then whatever is on your mind, we are here for all of it. So intentions are the architect of our future. Be deliberate in your choices and watch your life transform. Joshua Becker. Over to you, Denise.
Well, grand rising and good morning, everybody. You always drop a couple of gems. I have to grab my pen. I know to keep a pen and paper nearby. You said something I never heard before. I love it. You said from to do to done. I love that. You know, I got to put that on a card. I got to put that one on a card. The other thing you said, which is a little off kind of what I wanted to talk about, but it's important. So you were saying how you can move, being intentional, you can move toward, you can move forward in goals, or unfortunately, you can move backwards. And sometimes there's that in between place, and you need to be there. And it's called a holding pattern. Are you in a holding pattern? Are you in a quiet time? Are you waiting? There's a song, I'm Waiting on You. And I used to play it every morning when I knew I was waiting on God. I knew I was waiting. I was waiting for that nudge. I was waiting for that answer. And I was waiting for that assurance and that conviction that the next step I was planning to take was the step I was supposed to take. So sometimes we need to remain in that holding pattern, and it might come after a setback, and it's okay. So anyway, on Wake Up Wednesday, I have really been waking up. This is a perfect timing, and some of this happened yesterday. I have really been waking up to the awareness of disruptors. Now, I know disruptors is this trendy term right now. I'm not talking about the disruptors that are out there disrupting an industry, turning an industry on its head and just making waves and doing these beautiful things. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about these intentional, toxic disruptors. And everybody might not like what I have to say about it. But the fact is, it's a true statement. There are some disruptors that are on a platform and they come into the space to disrupt the conversation, to disrupt the topic, to throw it off a little bit. I don't know what their intention is because I don't actually care. What I care about is that I know me, and it's a trigger for me when you intentionally come into a space of a person who's doing something positive, like yourself, Cassandra, in your room, like you, Jay, in your room on Saturday mornings, like Brian in his room when he's doing his Q&As, when he's trying to really drop gems on content, Eric trying to really show people how to heal through writing. When a disruptor rises to the stage and they flip it a little bit, it disturbs me. And I realize that. So I'm in this place right now, and I've been here for a long time, where I know the only person I can control is Denise. So what I wanted to share was on Wake Up Wednesday, it's okay to wake up out of that acceptance and out of that tolerance of toxic disruptors, not just in your life, but in your space online. You have to protect your space. You have to protect your place. And it's okay to disconnect, unfollow, and stop tolerating that in your personal space. Because for me, it just helps me. It makes me feel like I'm in control. I don't have to, it doesn't mean I'm never going to hear that person speak again, but I can protect my space, and I can protect the friends and my follows and all of that kind of stuff. I can protect that, and I can control that. And it's important for me to do that. It's important for me to wake up and be very alert to what I'm allowing in my space. And I've been saying this all this week. Be careful who you allow to pour into your spirit, who you allow to celebrate your wins, who you share your failures with, because some people don't even know what they're doing. They're going to run with that. Cassandra, you said it yesterday. You said, oh, I know I can't tell everybody when I'm mad at my husband. It's a very few select individuals that you do that with. It's such a wise statement. You're protecting yourself, your spirit, and more importantly, you're protecting your marriage. You're protecting your husband's reputation. Not everybody even deserves that conversation. You know, not everybody deserves to be that close to you. So I just love what we're talking about today. I love where I'm at in this growth place, and I'm still working it out. You know, I'm still working it out. I'm still in this place where I'm like, I don't know why that triggers me, but that was a next statement. And I don't have to allow it to kind of penetrate my spirit. You know, I don't have to allow that. So whatever I need to go through, I have to stay awake. I have to stay aware of what my triggers are and just be in control of me. I can't be in control of them. And it's okay to just disconnect. Say, I don't need to follow that person. I don't need to hear what they're putting out. I don't want that in my spirit. I think that's okay. And I think sometimes we judge ourselves when we do that. I think sometimes we say, oh, I'm being mean, I'm being impatient. No, you have to protect yourself. You're the only one who can protect your space, and protect your spirit. Thank you, guys.
I love that. I love that. Cynthia said that's a good word. We have to use discernment. You are absolutely right. And I wanted, but her other statement was, yes, we have to be alert. So as you were talking, I put that one up there because it was aligning so well with exactly what you were saying. I did want to rewind it back to the holding pattern because I think that's so important. One of the things that you said was we may be in a holding pattern, especially after something hasn't gone well, after there's been some sort of disappointment or something. I want to double down on that one and say we should be in a holding pattern after something like that, because we need to take the time to assess what happened, assess where things went off the rails. Why did we not get the results that we were expecting? Learn from that situation and incorporate that learning into how we're moving before we get back in and start to heads down, push forward again. Those setbacks are for a reason. Those setbacks teach us something, and we often want to rush by them so quickly. It doesn't feel good, not a fun place to be. We want to push that down, forget all about it. But when we do that, we miss the opportunity to learn, to adjust, and move forward more informed than we were before. So I really, really like that. And as far as the disruptors are, I look at disruptors as an opportunity for me to practice showing up as my best self. And that's all you're talking about, Denise. You're triggered, but you're not lashing out. You're not telling, you're not locking in and having a virtual fight with the person. You're deciding whether or not you want to stay in that space or disconnect. You're making the right choice for you, not adding to the drama that they've shown up to create. And you've been around where on different platforms, people have locked up with me right there and, in real time. And so it happens, and it's an opportunity. It is an opportunity for you to practice what you preach. It's an opportunity to kind of see where you are in your healing journey, because those things that really get to us are happening for a reason. And you need to assess what's going on. Has my boundary been crossed? And when maybe you're seeing somebody with some bullying behavior and that kind of thing, and you just can't cut for that. So your boundary has been crossed. So either you say something or you disconnect. Maybe you're triggered because of the story that you're telling yourself in that moment. They've said something. We can't discern necessarily what they meant, but it's made you feel some type of way. So when you go inside, it's like, is it what they said? Is it triggering an old memory, a bad feeling? What's going on here? Because when we tap into those negative feelings, those things that really get under our skin, What we actually do is learn something about ourselves. You either learn that you're growing into another area where your tolerance for some stuff just isn't what it used to be. You won't take the things that you used to take because you've elevated internally. You know who you are, you know what your boundaries are, and when they're crossed, you deal with that. Or maybe that person meant nothing at all, wasn't thinking in your direction at all, because people don't think about us nearly as much as we think they do. I keep telling myself that all the time. It's like, I'm only this important to me. They're not thinking about me nearly as much as I think they are. So they probably didn't mean how I took it. So how am I taking it, and why am I taking it that way? And it'll often point back to some experience that we've had in our past that needs a little nurturing and care to complete the healing process, so that that trigger is no longer so easily tapped. So you just never know what's going on when those feelings pop up. But what I do know is that you should deal with them, because you will learn another layer of your emotional well-being, and you can discern and decide what needs to happen. Is this a disconnect moment, or is this a moment where I really need to heal something that I didn't realize was still a bruise? There's a bruise there that I didn't see, and I need to do the work to get that bruise healed. So I appreciate both of those things that you dropped there. Cynthia said, holding pattern is exactly where I am right now today. Thank you, Denise, for this confirmation. That's the beauty of transparency, Cynthia. That's the beauty of coming into rooms like this and just hearing people speak from their different perspectives. I am not surprised that you were the one who got a message, because like I told you, you were on my mind first thing this morning, and it kind of threw me off when I saw you in the room. So you are here for a reason, and you know better than anybody what that reason is. And it sounds like at least part of it you've already gotten. You've gotten some confirmation that you needed, and that is amazing. That's why we show up. That's why we have the conversations that we have. We're hoping that something that we say, one thing, at least one thing, resonates with people. So when you leave, you take that one thing, integrate that into your space, and you start to do something a little bit differently so that you can accelerate moving towards the life that you desire. Dr. Muhammad Rashad, I see you there. He said, great. I saw Sonia come through, say, good morning, fam five. I think we've gotten all the comments so far. So with that, I'm going to go. Oh, there is Conchita. Wonderful Wednesday to everyone. Wonderful Wednesday to you too. Are you next up is Brian. Brian, would you like for me to read the quote again, or do you want to just jump in? Let's see if he has audio this morning. Barbara, I see you there. Barbara said hello from Colorado. Ooh, hello from Colorado, Barbara. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Brian, are you able to unmute?
Yeah, I am now.
All right. Did you want me to read the quote again, or are you ready to jump in?
No, I'm ready to jump in. I was thinking about intention this morning because I needed to be more intentional about going to bed earlier. But I've been working on a project, and I've been intentional about finishing that project. So I was up a little later again and moving slow, trying to figure out what's the next play for the day. And you know what I thought about? The first thing when I woke up this morning was my subconscious mind and how it directs my conscious mind. You know, we talk about intention all the time. Like that's a topic that we talk about at least once a week. But when I think about intention, I also keep hearing definite objective. What am I trying to do? Right? Which makes staying up at night, when I know why I'm staying up at night, I don't feel bad about, okay, it's 2 a.m. I got to get back up at 5. I don't feel so bad when I slump around a little bit, right? Because I know I've got that definite objective in mind. I've got to get this finished. This is part of it. That's where that subconscious direction comes into play, right? That's where that definite objective comes into play, because I am telling myself through auto suggestion, hey, I got to get this done. I got to do this. I got to do this. Now that intention is formed. That intention is formed in the manifestation of a habit. And those habits are the sum of your intentions. So yeah, you thought about what you wanted to do, and now it's been put into your subconscious that feeds your conscious, and now you're doing it. Now you're actually being intentional in the things that you set out to do day in and day out, whether you know it or not, because it's been put into your subconscious mind. So I was already thinking about that, and I didn't even, I didn't realize it was that close to the time, because I'm sitting up here and I'm brainstorming. I've been up since, I think I went to bed at 2. I got back up at 4:45, and the whole time my subconscious has just been working toward that definite objective.
So,
And
brother, did I hear you say the voice within wins?
oh, on my soundboard. That's a mic drop moment.
I think that's what I heard you say.
You said it. Back over to you, Cassandra.
All right, Brian. Thank you so much for that. And I had to bring that home. If when you guys see me, mostly right under my face, you're going to see the voice within wins. That is literally what my whole business is built on, because I believe in doing that inner work. That subconscious mind, that inner voice is in control. It is driving us towards our destiny. But the question is it driving you towards your actual destiny? Is it driving you towards where you would like to go? Because sometimes through trauma, through bad situations, through heartache, disappointment, that inner voice gets to be very, very fearful, and sometimes very, very critical. And it will start to tell you what you can and what you can't do, what you should and what you shouldn't have. And if you're not even aware, if you're not tapped in to that inner voice, it's taking you where it's going to take you. It's fear-based, it's trauma-based, it doesn't want to see you get hurt. Is its primary objective is to keep you safe. But what you needed to be safe as a little person when that inner voice was being formed is not what you need to be safe today, right? Stranger danger is real no matter how old we are. But at 55, I can handle it a little bit better. I know I can feel, I can discern, I can see how you're looking at me, how you're coming towards me. I can look at your history. I can make some decisions about approaching and interacting with the person. Where a 5-year-old, if you've got a sucker or a puppy or a nice song, they may just drift right into your path, never thinking whether it's safe or not. Your subconscious mind is trying to protect that person, that little person who doesn't know better, that little person who touched the hot stove and was burned. That hot stove shows up in many forms in our lives over time, right? And that subconscious mind is consistently telling you, don't touch that, it's hot. That's literally what it was designed to do, to keep you from touching whatever hot stoves show up in your life. But because it's protecting a little person, it has fear that began all the way back then. The information that's going to give, the warning signs that are going to go off, are not necessarily real warning signs for you today. So you have to talk to that subconscious mind. Thank you for the warning. I know you want to keep me safe, but I am totally capable of handling this. I can go on stage. I won't fall like I did when I tried in the play at 6 years old. I won't freeze up. I won't run off crying. I can talk to people now. Thank you for trying to keep me safe. That guy, he may kind of look like that old guy from before, but that's not him. We've had a good conversation. I feel like it's safe to move forward. Yes, I'm going to go for that job. I know I didn't get that one 3 years ago, and they said some really nasty stuff to us, but we're 3 years stronger. We're 3 years more prepared, and we can go for it. You have to talk to and start to reframe that inner voice, because it only knows to keep you safe. And in order to keep you safe, it wants you out of the unfamiliar. It wants to keep you right. It wants to keep you in a holding pattern, keep you where it knows where all the safety points are. And once you start to cross a line that's outside its view, man, the bells and the whistles and the lights start to go off. It's freaking out, because it's like, oh no, she may go around that dark corner. Oh no, they may say something mean to her. Oh no, when the lights come on, she may freeze and not be able to speak. It's trying to keep you safe. It's your inner voice is not your enemy. It's your friend. but you have to transform it from being a critic into being a cheerleader, into being an advocate, so that you get out of your own way and you can actually go for the things that you're designed to go for. Our inner voice won't have us doing anything outside of the familiar because it feels unsafe. And that's what it's all about. So understand that and keep pushing through. Listen to it, see where that fear is coming from. Is it justifiable fear? Am I really going into a place to where I could be damaged, harmed, hurt in some way? Is it my actual warning sign? That fear has a place in our lives, keeps us from, running into the bear. It keeps us from doing things that can really injure us. That's fear. That's okay, fear. But that voice is usually treating everything like it's a bear that's ready to maul you. So you have to click into it, hear what it's really saying, and know when there's real danger, and know when you're just about to step outside of your comfort zone, because everything that you desire is on the other side of your comfort zone. You have to push through that fear, keep moving forward so that you can begin to really see the fruits of your labor, really see the life that you've been working for and the things that you desire come to fruition. It's in the dark right now because you have to take that next step. And your inner voice is going to be screaming real loud, "Don't do it. No, danger, danger, danger." I love what you shared, Brian. You put me on a tangent. Sorry, I took that and ran with it. So I've got Lisa's quote up. She says, "Totally agree. Take some time to slow ourselves down, and assessing the situation can point us in the right direction moving forward." Absolutely. Thank you for that, Lisa. Sonia is joining us on her day off. She's up bright and early. She says, "I'm off work today, but love to hear the positive energy." Well, welcome. I'm glad you're off work. I know you're preparing for Thanksgiving with your family. So we appreciate you inviting us in the day before all of that, because you're probably getting ready to cook and do all kinds of stuff, just like I am. However, you took the time to be with us this morning, and we do not take that lightly. We absolutely appreciate it. So, Jay, you're up next. Am I reading the quote again, or are you ready to jump in? Uh-oh, Jay, are you frozen there? It looks like he may be frozen. Yeah, he's not moving. All right. Oh, there you go.
Right on time, I guess. Stuck in that holding pattern.
Exactly. You were in the technical holding pattern. I was asking if you wanted me to read the quote again or if you were ready to jump in.
Yes, please. Read
All
the
right,
quote for
no
me, if you don't
problem.
mind.
So let me put it up. Intentions are the architect of our future. Be deliberate in your choices and watch your life transform, by Joshua Becker. All right, with that, over to you, brother.
Thank you. So let me start out with a quote, a Bible verse. And the Bible verse I'm choosing today is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1. Let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. And so for me, the Bible verse and the quote, it's about allowing us to walk with purpose. If we think about it in this way, it's I'll refer to my tornado experience. Following the tornado, my mind was racing. What was I going to do next? How was I going to get out of this? And I was stuck in a holding pattern. My thoughts and my emotions got the best of me, and it kept me there rather than moving with purpose, with intentionality. I sat there and I'll admit I wallowed a little bit in self-pity and tried to figure out ways to get out of it. And the more I thought on it, the more got stuck in that moment. And sometimes you just got to move. You just got to get up, dust yourself off, and find out what that purpose is and move forward. Move with intentionality. And so Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1 encourages believers to be proactive in removing obstacles, distractions, sinful behaviors from their lives, allowing them to pursue their spiritual journey with determination and perseverance. And the metaphor of the race, that just underscores the idea that the Christian life requires effort. Your life requires effort, endurance, and focus on the ultimate goal set by God. And in my moment following the tornado, I looked into the eyes of my children and my wife, and I said, I got to get up. I got to move. I got to move with purpose. What's my purpose? They are. They are. They are my purpose. My family is my purpose. I'm going to move forward. My faith and my DNA are going to help carry me through this moment, and I'm going to persevere. And you may not be going through a natural disaster. You may not have experienced a natural disaster, but we all experience storms in our life, and we can come through it with intentionality and with purpose. So don't sit there sulking. Don't sit there overthinking things like I normally do. And just get up and do stuff. Get up and move. Go on with purpose. Find out what that purpose is and let it take you where it needs to go. Let it take you where you need to go. Back to you, Cassandra.
Love it, love it, love it. Coral picked up on what you were saying and said, yes, Jay, sometimes you got to move. And by moving, you move away and you shake off the negativity. And Cynthia said, overthinking will keep you stationary. Analysis paralysis. Yes. It will keep you, you can think and think and think. But until you put some action behind that plan, nothing is going to change. So, yes. So I think they were picking up what you were putting down, Jay. There was a couple of good points right there from, and I love the verse because you're right. You know, the race is our life and it's calling us to live our life, run our race with intention, putting the energy behind the things that are going to get us to what we were designed to do with this life. How do you, we could all finish this, they hit the finish line at the same time and everybody be a winner because you've finished your race. I'm not racing against Denise. I'm not racing against Jay or Brian or Eric. I have to finish my race. And what my finish line looks like is determined by what my purpose is, right? And so you have to get clear, get to yourself, do the work to dig in and ask yourself some powerful questions. What lights me up? What am I really excited about doing? What are the things that I'm known for? What are the types of things that people come to me and ask me for all the time? Ask my opinion on, ask me if I can help with. There's some clues into your gifting. When we know what our gifting is and we're developing and pouring into that, we accelerate our journey. We accelerate our race towards the finish line. And yes, the holding patterns are going to come. And when you're in that place, that's your learning season. We have those mountaintop experiences where we can just see it all spread out across us. Look at where I've landed. Look at what I've accomplished. You can see where you've come from. You can see the beautiful view in front of you and what's ahead. And life is just wonderful. That's when you experience the fruits of your labor. And then there's those valley experiences. That's not necessarily a negative thing. That means something is you need to learn something. You need to be taught something. You need to adjust something. In those valley moments, sometimes we get so overrun by our emotions of the experience that we miss the lessons that the valley was designed to teach us. That's that holding pattern Denise was talking about. It's an important part of our lives too. You're not learning a lot from the mountaintop. It's too dang cute up there. There's too much to see. There's too much joy for you to experience, and yeah, that's the payoff time. That's Friday paycheck day. Those valley experiences sometimes feel like the Friday before when you look ahead and I got a whole nother week and no paycheck is coming. So I got to figure out how to get these 7 days behind me and take care of everything I need to take care of. Well, guess what you do when you're trying to figure that out? You're in that valley. You're analyzing. So what did I do with the paycheck that I got the last time? Did I make good choices with it? Did I blow a little bit too much here, too much there? Did I give more than I had to give? So I poured from an empty cup and now I don't have what I need to sustain myself. You have to do that assessing, and you only do that really in those valley times. It's too much fun on the mountaintop. So every once in a while, we have to come down and we have to get in that valley space and we learn. And because that is going to make sure that not only you're on track for the life that you're supposed to live, but you have the muscles built up to sustain it. Because you've got to climb out of that space. You're going to use muscles mentally and physically that you don't typically use in those valley points. In that valley, when you're climbing out, you're getting stronger. You're getting wiser. You're discerning what's good for you and what isn't. So when you climb out, you're at the base of the mountain. You're not back up there yet, but you've climbed out of the valley and you're standing at the base of that mountain and you're so much wiser. You're so much more aware of your capabilities. You're so much stronger. And now you're ready to start ascending to your next mountain to get that next payoff. That's what life is. It's a series of mountaintops, base of the mountain, valley experiences, and it does us well to assess where we are. Because as you assess where you really are right now, there's different things that you should be doing. In the valley, you're meditating, you're learning, you're receiving the messages to move forward. At the base of the mountain, you're ready to start climbing again. That's implementation time all over again. And at the top of the mountain, that's gratitude on steroids, because you get to see the fruit of your labor and see where it is, what you've accomplished at that point, right? So just think about those 3 phases and assess where you are right now. And instead of trying to be so gleeful in the mountain, in that valley experience, and upset with yourself because you're not feeling all that joy and gleefulness, it's because you're in the valley and you're supposed to be quiet. You're supposed to be to yourself. You're supposed to be learning. It's not party time. At the base, it's like, okay, I've got a little bit more energy. I'm starting to feel better, but you're still frustrated because you can't see the fruit of your labor yet. You're not there. It's right ahead. Now it's time to dig in deep and do the work, implement, and then you land back at the top of that mountain. And here we go. It's time to celebrate. It's time to celebrate. So life is cyclical like that. It's cyclical like that. And when you assess where you are, you can align your emotions with that and not be so hard on yourself for how you're feeling in those situations. And it actually helps you to really think about what you should be doing. We've got a couple more comments. I don't know who LinkedIn user is. 100. You can't race with someone who has been in the game for a decade or has a different type of tool than you do. You have to race your race. Absolutely. That's why the saying is joy, that comparison is the thief of joy. I'm trying to compare my day one experience to your decade one experience. You've been in the game for so long, and I'm just getting started, and I'm frustrated because I can't do it as well as you. It's not an even comparison. I don't know your story. I don't know what you had to do to get to where you are today. And it doesn't matter so much. I can learn from it. But what really matters is that I am walking my walk, winning my race. Thank you for that, Grace. And then Barbara said, listen and learn from others, then put your twist. We are together, not in competition. Love, love, love it. That's right. It's not a competition. When we can collaborate, when we can glean and learn from each other, that's what it's all about. That's why we show up every day. And that's why you guys, your comments are just as important as anything that we're saying on the stage, because we're learning as well. You're pouring into us as we're pouring out and into you. It's a beautiful reciprocity. All right, with that, Eric, last but not least, baby brother on the scene, the soul speaker, ready to hit us with what's on his mind. Did you want me to do the again? Or are you ready to go?
No, you don't have to.
All
You don't have
right,
to do it.
over to you.
Thank you so much. Grand Rising. Good morning. Jay, my sister Denise, Cassandra, my brother B. Hope you're doing well this morning. Um, it kind of struck me in the way intentionality this morning, in a real way, because that breeze and that storm that's been pushing up the East Coast hit my window this morning, and my mind started playing all kind of tricks. You don't have to go outside and ground a day. You can skip a day. You don't need to, making all the excuses that can bubble up. But then I was intentional to say that I need to do my grounding. It's one of those things. It's a non-negotiable for me. It's beneficial to me in ways that I've never found anything to be. And so this is my daily practice. This is what I'm committed to, and I'm going to be intentional about um, receiving my treatment. And so I bundled up, grabbed a hat, and we're out here. And it is raining a little bit. You have seen me turn my camera off to clean it off sometimes, but that's okay. We rolling with it. We're going to be intentional about the goal. We're going to be intentional about our purpose and make it work. And so, thank you, Cassandra, for that introduction. I am Eric Clark, soul speaker. My purpose is to help you tell your story. I am out grounding. As you said, that's one of my primary tools to help me tell my story. That's why you'll see me out here on the Cassandra Terry Morning Show in my swing. I typically spend a lot of time out here, even when I'm with clients, helping them tell their story. I'm out in my swing, grounding myself, making sure I'm not adding my trauma, my story into theirs. And so, grounding, healing myself is one of the things that I do daily to make sure that I'm intentionally showing up my best self, which looks different different days, right? Depending on how we show up that day, how we keep maintain our energy, which I'm so glad we spoke about this morning too and touched on. Please protect your energy. I'll tell one more story and I'll pass it back to you, Cassandra. Yesterday, I allowed someone who had been reading the newsletter that I've been producing for about a week now, Grounding with Granny, which again tells stories from my grandmother who recently passed, and helped me with my grieving, my process healing, and also telling stories. Her and so again, as a way to help folks and clients that I work with tell their story. And so he'd read a couple of the articles and had reached out and had a few questions to kind of trip me up to make sure that I was telling stories that were linear, which after sitting back for a while, I just began to ask myself, why did that bother you? As Denise and Cassandra were saying, why did that bother you? And it was the fact that it had nothing to do with the point of the newsletter, was to try to question or poke holes in the storyline. But I was able to understand that's why I was feeling that. Ask him a question to see, do you really want to know more about the story, or is it just more to kind of sink my boat? And if it's to sink my boat, have a great day. If you would like to have more conversation about my wonderful grandmother and the story, the lessons that she taught me, let's DM, let's talk, because I would love to talk about my grandmother, especially while I'm grieving, to talk about these celebration stories. Really puts a smile on my face when I don't feel the best. And so, if you want to connect, let's connect. And he did not want to connect. Obviously, he was only trying to ship my ship, because his affection for Madison, and I called Madison a small town. I didn't mean anything personally by that. Geographically, numbers say that it's a small town. Chicago, New York are big towns, so are big cities. So it really wasn't anything that I tried to do intentionally, but I understood what it was. I looked inside myself and understood why that kind of took me aback. Um, Gave myself a second, a minute to breathe, and some grace, and then continued on with my day. I even put out an extra episode so that he can see if he could poke any more holes, you know. But again, it's understanding that not everybody's going to be in a tribe, not everybody's going to be supportive, but keep doing what you do, keep living and loving and sharing. That newsletter has been um, inspiring to some folks. Folks have reached out and shared stories about their loved ones. There was a young man that reached out and told me he's lost his brother. And then we were able to connect. So it's provided way more opportunities to connect than opportunity. That I only had one negative comment in 8 episodes in a week, hundreds of shares, hundreds of comments. I've had one negative comment. And so I'm not going to focus on that negative comment. I'm going to keep providing the material and the lessons and the stories for those folks that want to be a part of the tribe. And so I appreciate everyone for reaching out. It's been so heartfelt to hear stories of your loved ones and how the newsletter has affected you. And so I'm so grateful and appreciative. I look forward to those folks that will be joining me and my sister Denise later on for our emotional wellness workshop that we'll be doing later today for home-based entrepreneurs. And so looking forward to seeing you at 4 p.m. if you signed up. And if you haven't, it's still time. So I'll send it back over to you, Cassandra, and thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thank you. You had some comments that were coming in as you were speaking. Coral said, Eric, great to see you in the outdoors. Gashay joined us from Ethiopia. That's the first time I've seen someone from Ethiopia. So you may have broken another geography for us. And I'm probably saying your name wrong, but welcome, 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 Gashay. Thank you for being with us. And I'm sharing Conchita's comment right now. She says, everyone needs to subscribe to Grounding with Granny. It's healing stuff. Thanks for sharing your life, Eric. And then Hilda said, powerful. So when we open up ourselves, we just never know. Sometimes we do it because it's a part of our own process. And Eric and I have talked about this quite a bit, how the grounding and how writing, and he shares, he even has a room that he runs sometimes called healing through writing. And how does it go, Eric?
Writing through pain.
Writing through pain. That's it. Writing through pain. I knew it had pain in it, so that didn't feel right. Yes. So it's a part of how Eric shows up in the world and how he manages his emotions, his stress, the situations in life. And so he's been sharing those tools in different ways on LinkedIn and Instagram and YouTube. So you just never know, in you going through your process and doing it out loud, how it's going to affect and impact somebody else. And it sounds like you at least know a percentage of that, because people have taken the time to comment and share. And I think that's wonderful. That's the whole point in us getting up here. People talk about vanity metrics and things like that. Vanity metrics are likes and shares and those types of things. The hearts start flying, so you feel like you're doing great. That's all nice because it's feedback. But what we're really here for is to tell our stories, and in doing so, hope with everything in us that we're impacting someone's life in a positive way, that you can hear what we've been through and see where we are on the other side, and that give you the encouragement that you need to keep moving forward, because it says to you, if she can, if he can, then so can I. I've been through a storm, so I relate to Jay's story. Or I've been in a different country and had and found my way and figured out. So I can relate to Denise. You know, I've lost a loved one. I can relate to Eric. And I can see that although he's in the grieving process right now, he still has a measure of joy and giving. So that encourages, right? And so that's the point. That's the point. We open up our lives in hopes of positively impacting you guys, and y'all are doing the exact same thing, whether you know it or not. You're pouring that right back into us through your comments here on the lives, through the comments that you leave on the different social media platforms afterwards. And so we appreciate you. And let's see, oh, my favorite cousin's calling. He has to wait. He has to wait. So Cynthia says, I am so thankful for this platform this morning. Lots of nuggets dropped. Job well done, Fam 5. And I think Fam 5 is new to Cynthia. She's known me for a while. We've ended up at some of the same events. So she's had a chance to hear me in the public speaking space and was such a supporter. And of course, I've supported her because I like her. I like the stuff that she has. Let's see. Barbara says, you all are amazing. Thanks for giving back. I would say the same thing to you, Barbara. Thank you so much. So I think that's going to be it, guys. We are going to wrap up Wake Up Wednesday. Our prayer is that something has resonated with you and you're going to do something different today than you've done all the days before. If you do that, then you're setting yourself up to keep moving forward towards the life that you desire. We will be back. Well, tomorrow is Thanksgiving. I don't know. We haven't talked about this yet. So I'm not sure where all the Fam 5 is going to be and what festivities they have going on with the family. I know Jay, like me, has a house full, but I do intend to open up in the morning, same time, for Thankful Thursday. How can I not be thankful on Thanksgiving? It may be just me, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm going to open the space. I see Eric raising his hand and Denise. So the three of us will be here. And Jay, you were raising your hand, but we gonna see what Miss Renee says, because you guys have. I know you got a house full of family, and I don't want you to feel the peer pressure to raise your hand just because we said yes. I love you enough that I want your household to be happy tomorrow and every day. So if the time allows, by all means, show up. If not, we know you'll be celebrating Thanksgiving with your family, and everybody doesn't have somebody to celebrate with this year, right? Some people have recently had losses, like Eric and his grandmother. So I'm going to show up and just you may even see my family in the background. It will not be formal. And we're just going to talk about what we're thankful for a few minutes. And anybody who wants to drop their gratitude in the comments, you will be more than welcome to do so. But the idea is to know that whoever you are, wherever you are not alone. You have a place where you can come and get at least some virtual Thanksgiving feasting and love. So we will be back tomorrow morning, 7:15 a.m. Central, our regular time, completely focused on Thanksgiving. All right. So let's see. Conchita said, I will be with you tomorrow. Have an amazing day, everyone. And a lot of our audience is international as well. So Thanksgiving is, a U.S. thing. So, yep, we will be here. And we'll see y'all tomorrow, 7:15 a.m. for Thankful Thursday. You guys go and have a wonderful day on purpose. Intend for that to be so and watch it happen. Thanks, everybody. Deborah, that's family, said thank you. Great message. Love you, girl. It's good to see you. All right. We are going to end the live stream right now. Thanks, everybody. See you tomorrow.